Hello, I'm Grayson Ottaway. Welcome back. This is Marvelous Videos. Hulk, the superhero from Earth 12091, is represented by the fictional Space Punisher Hulk in the Marvel Universe. He made his debut in Space Punisher No. 2 and was developed in 2012 by Mark Teixeira and Frank Turi. It's thought to be Hulk's most powerful appearance to date. In the main universe, the Space Punisher Hulk was made in the same fashion as the standard Hulk. In particular, scientist Bruce Banner was subjected to a lot of gamma radiation, allowing him to become the Hulk. However, unlike the Earth 616, the Prime Universe incarnation of the character, who remained largely normal, the Earth 12091 incarnation of the character transformed into a true monstrosity. The primary distinction between this incarnation of the Hulk and that of the one from the Prime Universe, apart from the visuals, is that Bruce Banner's corpse is actually locked within Space Punisher Hulk. Hence, Banner's death has no bearing on this Hulk. The Space Punisher Hulk has 4 arms in total and is significantly taller than the one from the Prime Universe. It also developed extraordinary physical abilities and came to be feared across the universe. Similar to Earth 161, General Thunderbolt Ross tries to stop him all the time but is unsuccessful. This version has only been seen in 2 comic strips, both of which are set on Earth 12091 and has not yet been featured in any derivative works. Let us not delay any further and dive right into our video today to explore more about the Space Punisher Hulk. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to this channel. Very small click for you, but for us, it means a great deal. Thank you so much. Let's go. Space Punisher Hulk, the origin. The comic issue number 1 starts when the Punisher arrives on a planet in the Orion Quadrant and encounters a swarm of aliens known as Sim Brood Ants while hunting the universe for an intergalactic mafia most popularly known as the Six-Fingered Hand. There is a soliloquy going on within the Punisher where he realizes that he has a reputation for being crazy. He thinks that's probably right. However, he is definitely not crazy about hunting the Six-Fingered Hand. Everyone thinks he's been hunting Santa Claus by the looks of it, as he's been trying to chase the Six-Fingered Hand for the better part of 8 long years. However, it doesn't matter what everyone says, because all that matters is that the Punisher has finally managed to track down one of the members of the Six-Fingered Hand. Now it makes them much more real. This leads the Punisher one more step closer to making the Six-Fingered Hand pay. Suddenly, he gets pulled inside a lair and gets pitted on the ground, surrounded by a gigantic, peculiar, and hybrid race of space bug sleazoids and parasite scum, or the Sim Brood Ants. They address him as Frank Castle and thank him for saving them the trouble of hunting him down. A throng of them quickly encircles Castle, ready to devour his flesh and bring what is left to their queen. They plan to decorate their ship's bridge with the Punisher's entrails in order to please their Queen Mother. The Punisher gets furious and states that he hates disappointing the Queen Mother, but likes where his entrails are. Fortunately, the Punisher always carries 2 weapons with him that he likes to refer to as Sound and Fury. First, he uses Sound to fire at the alien horde, which creates a sonic frequency powerful enough to remove the invader's armor. A heat beam then fries the Sim Brood Ants that he unleashes with Fury. Despite that, the sleazoids kept coming, and there were just too many of them. The Punisher quickly becomes overwhelmed and decides he needs some backup to hold the Sim Brood Ants. Therefore, he calls his pal Microchip, or Chip, for assistance. However, in this adaptation of the famous Punisher story, Microchip is a new version of the character, no longer a man, but a robot, with the ability to hack into computers and swarm his armies with miniature firearms. The Punisher created Chip to help him in situations like these. Chip and the Punisher have a fun banter about the metallic part of Chip's posterior. The Punisher regrets not adding some sense of humor to Chip while creating it, though contrary to the Punisher's beliefs, Chip accepts that it finds this attack quite amusing, while the Punisher struggles to hold the Sim Brood Ants off. The Punisher gets agitated and responds that it will be also amusing when he scrapes the space bug's guts out of his shoes when the Brood Queen entangles him. The Brood Queen, picking up Castle, causes the Punisher and Chip to believe that they are gaining the upper hand. While the Punisher battles the Brood Queen, Chip plants in the blackout bomb that can quickly wipe a planet from existence and downloads the data that they want from one of the Simbrood ants' computers to locate the other soldiers of the Six-Fingered Hand. However, just before the explosive is about to detonate, the Punisher escapes from the Brood Queen's control and commands his spacecraft, Maria, named after his wife, to evacuate him and Chip off the planet. The Simbrood ants' whole colony is blasted to pieces before they and their queen comprehend what is about to happen. The Punisher has injured his back in the battle, and Chip tries to fix the wound immediately after they take off from there. The Punisher acts tough and asks Chip to relax a bit. On the other hand, Maria is infuriated at his recklessness and bites his head off by stating that he was extremely lucky to have gotten out of the dangerous battle with just a hole in his back. The Punisher rejoices in the fact that he squashed the Brood Queen, and Maria asks him to watch his language. The Punisher is relieved to realize that he has one down from the Six-Fingered Hand's army, but there are 5 more to go. He thinks taking the rest of them down would be a cakewalk, as all that the Punisher wants from them is the power that they possess that runs the whole show and has murdered the Punisher's entire family. Even though Frank Castle's list of victims is practically unending, every mercenary believes that they can defeat him. Chip learns that the mighty Six-Fingered Hand is negotiating deals with a drug dealer by the moniker of Barracuda after deciphering the Simbrood ants, or the Sleazoids, encrypted data. Fortunately, the Punisher realizes where to go for him, and they end up at the Starjammer. Barracuda greets Castle and Chip as soon as they enter the pub and offers them drinks in an attempt to make them feel more comfortable. However, the Punisher is searching for the Six-Fingered Hand, not for comfort. As a result, he seizes Barracuda by the arm, prompting a hideous henchman to grab the Punisher's skull. The henchman threatens the Punisher by saying that had it been the janitor, he would not have cared, but the Punisher attacked the man who pays the henchman, so now he needs to take action against the Punisher. He squeezes onto the Punisher's head till his eyeballs pop out of his skull. The henchman tries to frighten Castle. However, the Punisher is not interested in idle conversation and orders Maria to shoot the man. The henchman is destroyed by a light beam that descends from the sky with only his feet left. The Punisher turns to everyone and confirms that the blast came from his ship, Maria, which is orbiting above all of their heads, and a single word from Castle would let her obliterate every nasty mutt there. With that in mind, the Punisher asks Barracuda once again about the Six-Fingered Hand's location. This further establishes the Punisher's reputation as a merciless badass. After 6 hours, we can see Barracuda's safe house, the planet Aquarion, where everyone is either dead or severely injured. The Punisher has already been there and wiped out everyone. Castle steps on one of the aliens' water breathers, and he starts coughing up blood and begs Castle not to let him die this way. Castle asks him if the water breather is all he wants and how it works. The Punisher takes a whiff from the water breather and is taken aback by the odor of Skrull piss. The Punisher threatens the alien to tell him where Six-Fingered Hand is, or he will cut off his ventilation. The alien gives up and assists Castle to the 3rd shelf of the library, where he gets the disc of the 6 capos of the Six-Fingered Hand. The Six-Fingered Hand consists of the Simbrood Ant Queen, which the Punisher has already vanquished, Dr. Octopus, the Green Goblin, Magneto, the Red Skull, and Ultron. The Punisher is about to get out of there when he gets surrounded by Sabretooth, Deadpool, and the leader, the deadliest hitman of the Six-Fingered Hand, and gets ambushed. Issue number 2 of the comic starts where we can see archived, massacred footage of the Hulk destroying the Fantastic Four. We come back to the Galactic Military Headquarters, where the Hulk is trying to wreak havoc. Bruce Banner was testing his theories on gamma rays when it turned on him, and now he has become the greatest threat to the universe since Galactus. The Galactic military soldiers can't even take a flight to Venus without worrying about the Hulk turning their ships into confetti. One of the soldiers, Talbot, mentions that it is time to call the ones who took the Hulk out even before. The general of the Galactic Military Headquarters rebukes Talbot by saying he doesn't need to summon the Avengers every time he faces a minor inconvenience, especially when the Avengers are fighting off the Skrull-Kree war. Talbot's attention is deviated by someone's reflection on the screen when General Ross presents Colonel Leonard Sampson. He reassures the general that the Hulk doesn't even stand a chance. They are just about to make contact when the Hulk appeared and smashed everything. He choked Leonard Sampson and knocked him off in seconds. To that, Talbot responds bronze. If that was the answer to the Hulk problem, I'd hate to hear the question. General Ross gets irate, shoots Talbot, and asks everyone if anyone wants to try their hands at comedy. On the other hand, we return to the safe house of Barracuda, where the three deadliest hitmen, Sabretooth, Deadpool, and the leader, are torturing the fish alien and the Punisher. They torment the alien for leaking information about the six-fingered hand to the Punisher. Sabretooth is agitated, does not wish to waste any more time, and tries to silence the chaos by killing the Punisher. He beams his laser right into Sabretooth's chest and starts battling Sabretooth and Deadpool. Sabretooth finds it amusing that the Punisher is merely wasting his ammunition on him and Deadpool, as they have tremendous regenerative and healing factors, due to which they are pretty much invincible. However, Deadpool likes getting shot, as it reminds him of his childhood. Meanwhile, the Hulk shows up out of nowhere and lands on the leader. Deadpool tries to reason with the Hulk when he snaps his neck, takes his head off his shoulder, and throws it away. Sabretooth tries to launch on him, and the Hulk bites him off in half and spits the other half out. The Hulk stops as the Punisher and says it's his turn now. The Punisher slashes everyone around, and there's so much blood all over that he can barely even see. After that, the Hulk and the Punisher face each other, and the Punisher asks Maria to send in Chip right away for help. Chip shows up and says he was hiding behind an asteroid as a ship-destroying monster is in the vicinity. He uses a sonic weapon to destabilize the Hulk and escape from there. The Punisher asks Maria to teleport them away from there while the Hulk chases after them. They take the leader along with them too. Now we can see in the Starship Maria that Chip and the Punisher have got the leader and are now trying to extract information about the six-fingered hand. The leader is scared that the six-fingered hand will demolish him if he speaks about them. The Punisher threatens him that he will do worse if he doesn't speak. After that, the Punisher removes the inhibitor chip from the leader, which stops him from squealing. All the leader needs to do is relax his mind and let the Punisher extract data about which of the six-fingered hand capos hired him and where he can find him. If the leader speaks, the Punisher will not throw him out of the ship's airlock. The leader gets intimidated and names Dr. Octopus. After that, the Punisher asks Chip to throw him out of the airlock once he's spoken. On the other hand, Chip finds the location of Dr. Octopus, and the Punisher torments him to extract further information about the six-fingered hand. Dr. Octopus's inhibitor chip had been damaged due to shrieking loudly in space for hours, damaging his vocal cords. After Dr. Octopus whispers the location in the Punisher's ears, he blasts his head off with his sonic weapon and leaves for Skrull World to find the rest of the capos. Meanwhile, the Watchers are watching the Punisher taking out the capos one by one, yet they aren't afraid of him as they think the Punisher won't be able to cause any harm to them. The third issue of the comic starts with the Punisher reaching the Skrull World, where the entire gang is present, along with four of the most feared gangsters in the galaxy, or the vaunted capos of the six-fingered hand. Here Skull asks his accomplices to frisk the Punisher to see for weapons, and he's found clean. The Punisher says that if he had a weapon on him, then Skull would be the first to know. Punisher brings with him the corpse of Dr. Octopus, and seeing that the Skull tells him that the Punisher has been a real thorn in their back and killed two of the capos for something as minor as a dead wife or son, the Punisher couldn't hear a word more and punched Red Skull hard. After knocking down Red Skull, Ultron, Green Goblin, and Magneto all attack the Punisher at the same time. Punisher realizes that most people would not be able to leave the room alive, but the Punisher is not like most people. Chip turns out from the bag of the corpse and starts firing at the capos. The Punisher had managed to smuggle Chip inside that bag with Dr. Octopus. The Punisher feels relieved to get assistance from Chip. While Chip was tackling Ultron, the Punisher was tackling Red Skull. Punisher defeated Red Skull, while Chip demolished Ultron. Chip tries to hurry and extract Ultron's memory logs to find out who is behind the six-fingered hand, and they find out that it is none other than the Watchers. On the Starship Maria, Chip is fitting a tracking device inside the Punisher so that Maria and Chip can track him down if the mission to kill the Watchers goes awry. The Punisher is scared to take on the Watchers, who are the all-seeing, all-knowing space gods. The Punisher does not have the right amount of firepower to tackle the Watchers. Only the Avengers do, hence the need to go to the Assemble City to assemble everything they need. They reach Avengers City security and target the trophy room in the museum wing. The plan was for them just to beam in, grab whatever they came for, and beam out of there as soon as they were done. Unfortunately, Chip was unable to read anything or find any security there, which seemed pretty dicey, given the Avengers are the universe's mightiest heroes with the mightiest weapons. The Punisher meets Jarvis there and tries to attack him when Jarvis raises questions. The Punisher thought there wouldn't be security, as Tony Stark would never believe that anyone would have the audacity to rob them in a million years. Jarvis tackles the Punisher with ease and knocks him down like a sack, as he is the security that the Punisher had been looking for. Chip wraps himself on Jarvis and tries to stop him from attacking the Punisher, but Jarvis takes him hostage instead and stops all the bullets coming out of the Punisher's weapon. Seeing that they are getting destroyed by Jarvis, the Punisher calls for Maria and asks for assistance. Maria helps him out with a rocket launcher and he fires that at Jarvis. Jarvis turns around and attacks the Punisher instead. Jarvis wanted to end this all at once, but the Punisher asked Maria to give Jarvis the Lost in Space treatment and threw him out into space. Chip retrieved everything they came looking for while the Punisher was engrossed with his rocket launcher and left from there right away. We come back to the blue area of the moon, the home of the Watchers. The Punisher and Chip find themselves surrounded by the Watchers the minute they reach their area. The Punisher tried to attack the Watchers and started shooting at them, but his weapons were nothing but mere toys for them. They destroy Chip right before the Punisher, and he's shattered to see that. The Punisher gets infuriated and takes out the ultimate nullifier, the most powerful weapon in the universe, clearly stolen from Assemble City. The Watchers know that even vengeance has a limit, and if the Punisher employs the nullifier, then he will not only destroy the Watchers, but the entire universe along with them. But the destruction of Chip leads the Punisher to use the nullifier. However, the nullifier was just a device that the Watchers created to indoctrinate, control, and keep track of everyone. The Watchers made the Punisher go weak in his knees with his past thoughts and confused him thoroughly about his existence, and after that, the Watchers left him and went on to carry on with their other business. When the Punisher realized he couldn't tackle the Watchers alone, he tried to get help from Maria, who said Chip had already been at work, and even after his death, he didn't stop assisting the Punisher. Chip had created a sonic device that was used to call the Hulk to Uatu and the Watchers in order to kill them all. Maria measures the sonic frequencies constantly, and the Hulk is on his way. Maria was unable to beam the tracker in the Punisher's arm, so he chopped it and threw it to Uatu, and that is exactly when the Hulk appeared. The Hulk smashes and kills all of the Watchers, along with Uatu. Before leaving, he finds Chip's head and asks Maria to teleport them, but the Hulk asks the Punisher to kill him. The Hulk rips his heart out, and Bruce begs him to kill him. The Punisher does, and the Hulk leaves from there with the dead Bruce inside of him. What makes Space Punisher Hulk so deadly? Space Punisher Hulk has revealed a lot about his abilities and his violent deeds, despite only appearing in 2 comic books. He has developed a reputation for wrecking spaceships and is best summed up as a deadly killing machine. In the midst of fighting and killing the Fantastic Four, he tore off the Thing's hand and tied Mr. Fantastic up in a knot. When the Punisher wanted to learn more about the six-fingered hand, he stormed Barracuda's lair. He took down some of the assassins assigned to murder the Punisher, but the leader's sonic weapon infuriated him. Prior to being eliminated by the Hulk, Punisher was able to flee. He eliminated Deadpool and bit through Sabretooth. Additionally, he tore Bruce Banner out of himself and allowed him to be shot without even flinching. He also broke the leader's back in the process. Punisher managed to survive his encounter with Space Punisher Hulk, but it was really simply a lucky happenstance. Later, he single-handedly defeated and removed 6 Watchers, which is incredible. In terms of his non-destructive abilities, he can move faster than light, appear indestructible, and actually be invincible. He can also pass through barriers between reality and existence, which he did to deal with the Watchers. Since Galactus first revealed his presence, this iteration of the figure is regarded as the greatest menace to the universe. It's quite challenging for us to predict who would stop this this version of the Hulk because he only appeared in 2 comic strips and destroyed all of his enemies in both of them. He is not indestructible like most people, but there is not a known adversary that can beat him. Therefore, we can only guess. He cannot be defeated by the Fantastic Four, the Watchers, Deadpool, Doc Samson, Punisher, the Leader, or Thunderbolt Ross, and we've not yet met an individual who can. Of course, there are supernatural beings like the One Above All, and certain superpowered alternative people like Rune King Thor, King Thanos, or the Deadpool version that wiped out the whole Marvel universe. However, these aren't clear answers. We are simply unable to advise you, if you're wondering, whether a regular character might battle the Space Punisher Hulk, because so far, this Hulk has triumphed over every opponent he's faced, and because we don't know that much about Earth 12091 to identify someone who could overcome this beast. The marvelous verdict. The brutal vigilante from Marvel Comics, Frank Castle, aka the Punisher, is once more enforcing the law on his own. Just this time, his wrath and aggression will send him into space, turning him into an interplanetary badass. The Punisher, although not a superhero, has a talent for destroying innumerable murderers and criminals. Frank Castle is continuously battered to within an ounce of his life, so one might suppose he is secretly immortal, yet his desire to get revenge on those who destroyed his family makes him a very dangerous opponent. The Punisher battles many different types of enemies in the comic books, such as trolls in War of the Realms and super baddies like Electro in The Punisher Volume 1 Black and White, but author Frank Terry and illustrator Mark Teixeira revamped the character by sending him to the furthest reaches of space to battle a new breed of adversaries. The little question is that the angry Punisher should have been the subject of Phase 1 of the MCU film, given the character's enormous fan base. It's tough to predict if Frank Castle will appear on film once more. However, the character could make another appearance if the fans are as tenacious as his character. If you enjoyed this video, please click on the like button, share, and comment below about which other series, movies, characters, or video games you'd like us to explore or review. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you get regular updates. Thanks so very much for watching. Please take care.